This is the 2024 Buick Envista, and it's one of the nicest and most stylish crossovers I've seen this year. In fact, for a very long time. It's a compelling proposition, has a very appealing price, and is made in Korea. So today, I'm going to test it and see exactly what it's like. So this stylish Envista slots nicely below the Buick Encore GX, following the discontinuation of the Encore, which was never a particularly good car. Now this one isn't an Encore replacement because it's way more stylish, way better looking, and bigger. So how much bigger is it? Well, it's almost a foot longer than the old Encore, and the wheelbase has been stretched to 106.3 inches. That's 4.1 inches larger than the Encore, and it has approximately 97 cubic feet of passenger space. So with its curving roofline, it really reminds me a little of a Jaguar F-Pace. I mean, it really is a stylish, good-looking car. Buick has done a great job in designing this. It has presence on the road. At the front, it looks pretty cool too. A little bit of aggression, very narrow LED headlights, and then it's got this ST badge because this one is a sport touring, so it sits in the middle of the pack. There's a base, an ST, and then a top-of-the-range Avenir. And then the badge on the front and on the rear is now this new Buick badge. It's got one on the steering wheel as well. I think the whole front end looks really, really good. So this Sport Touring has the optional 19-inch wheels. The standards are 18. I think they look pretty good. And then they're wrapped in these Continental Sport contact tires. They're 245, 45s all around. So you're probably hoping for a 4-cylinder turbo engine with 200 plus horsepower, 200 foot-pounds of torque. No. This one has GM's corporate 1.2 liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine. It's got 137 horsepower, 162 foot-pounds of torque, driven through a 6-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 takes a yawning 9+ seconds, but on the plus side, it will get you over 32 miles to the gallon. Now you might ask, why don't they use the slightly larger 1.3 cylinder engine, which has 180 some foot-pounds and 158 horsepower? Not sure. They may be saving that for a more sportier version, but we're going to drive this and we're going to see how well it does with this 1.2 turbo later on in the video. So you might notice that even though this is a hatchback, there is no rear wiper. That's down to GM's bean counters. They wanted to save some money on this particular car. I think the rear styling looks really cool too. You've got this slight little spoiler at the back here, this little lip on the rear tailgate, new Buick badge, Buick spelt out across here, Envista, and then ST. Done a pretty good job here, I think. So this one gets a powered tailgate, revealing 21 cubic feet of space here, and then there's a little bit more space under here to store stuff and a small spare wheel, and then on the right hand side you get a little bin. One thing I did notice, this really cheap plastic here gets scratched up pretty easily. Again, more evidence of cost cutting here. Get a pretty decent parcel shelf, and then you can put those rear seats down, one button, and they fold decently flat. It's going to give you about 41 cubic feet of space in total. So pricing is where it gets quite interesting. Now this one has the copper ice metallic. It really stands out. I think it looks really good with this sort of piano black, even though I hate piano black, but it looks really good with these piano black over the fenders here, and then the wheels are also dark. You get dark mirrors. It has a presence on the road. Very stylish looking car, but how much is it? Well, these start at $24,000. I mean, that is incredibly cheap. This one has got a couple of options. It's got a heated steering wheel and driver and passenger heated seats. It also has this power slide and tilt moonroof with a manual cover. It also has adaptive cruise control, lane change departure warning, and a wireless charger. That takes the price, including destination, to, drumroll, $29,070. I think that is amazing. So I'm sitting in the front seat first because the passenger, unfortunately, doesn't get the same creature comforts as on that side. They do get heated seats, but the only thing is they can only move their backrest up and down. There is no seat height, obviously forward and back, but that's it. So in the back, it's not too bad, and certainly for me, the really sloping cool roofline doesn't upset my headroom here. One of the things of massive cost cutting, there's no armrest, it's not there. There are no cup holders. I guess you could put something in that pocket right there. And yeah, some of these plastics are quite scratchy. There is a little pocket right here, only on one side. And then you get some power, one quick, one slow USB, and a little bit of storage, but no vents. Again, there's been some cost cutting with this car. What I do like is, because it's front wheel drive, it's completely flat across here. So if you did have to get the short straw and sit in the middle, at least your knees aren't hitting your face. Much better news on the driver's side, because you get multi-way power, back and forth, backrest, and also a really nice lumbar support that hits you right in the right spot. You can adjust this chair to get the right driving position. And then this steering wheel is really nice. It's not too thick. It's sort of cut off at the bottom there, hinting at its sportiness that it doesn't have, but genuinely a very nice driving position. So some of that cost cutting on the interior is here on the door, but it's no worse than plastic you'd find on other cars, even cars that are $40,000 house scratchy plastic. What they have tried to do here is put a little bit of blue stitching on here, and it's got this sort of textured feel to it. This dash is actually quite soft feeling. You've got more stitching right here. The minute you go here though, you get more scratchy plastic, but it is to be expected on a car that is $29,070. There's not a whole lot not to like on this car. Ahead of the driver, you get this 8-inch screen, which expands across the dash to the center console. This one is an 11-inch screen. It's actually really super simple to use. Makes a nice little noise as you click through. You've got Android Auto, an Apple CarPlay, a Wi-Fi hotspot. You can turn the traction control off. I wouldn't, it doesn't make any difference. What I really like is the fact that when your phone is in the charger, which mine will charge through the case, sometimes you're fumbling around trying to figure out, is it charging, is it not? So up here there's a little icon that shows you if it is charging or not. I really like that feature. Another cool feature is this right here. When you're actually driving and following a car, it shows you the seconds that you are behind the vehicle. So it starts panicking at like 0.5, you back off, it shows you how many seconds if that vehicle comes to a halt and you've got to slam the brakes on. It's a very simple, straightforward screen. It's fast and I can't fault it. Back on the main screen, you can adjust your HVAC here, but why would you want to? Because right below you've got physical buttons, on off, heated seats on both sides, defrost, etc. And speaking of heated seats, these are some of the best heated seats that I've seen. Not only do they go all the way up your back and your backside, and they heat everywhere where they need to heat, they stay hot, and I had to turn them down because they were so hot the other day. Really, really good heated seats. Also like the fact that you get an actual gear shifter, which is nice. And then ahead of that, you've got your stop-start system and then your lane departure. And 2 decent-sized cup holders. Now this stuff scratches up really easily, and it's already got scratched, and this car's done like 3,500 miles, so I don't like this piano black. There's a little bit of space with a little rubberized mat below here in front of the central compartment, which is pretty deep, although again, quite scratchy plastic again. Cost cutting is there, but there's nothing wrong with that if you're paying less than $30,000 for a car. You also get ST on the headrest. Now these seats are plastic. You've got to basically get the Avenir model to get leather seats. I don't know why you would bother, these are fine. And then here's that steering wheel. It really does feel nice in your hands. It's got easy to use controls on both sides. All right, let's see how it drives. Now I know this is only a front wheel drive car, but we're gonna take it on like a truck trail, a minor truck trail, just to see how it does and hopefully not break it. So one of the things that I've noticed about this car, there's a few things actually, but it's very quiet. Even though it has a slightly gruff sounding 1.2 litre engine, it's very quiet. You can probably not hear much right now. So one of the things I've noticed is that it's quite serene in this car. It doesn't want to be pushed. So if you mash your foot to the floor, you can get a gruff noise and you're not going to get a lot of forward motion. What you want to do with this car is drive it on the torque. So don't exceed like 4,000 RPM. It doesn't like it. It doesn't make it any quicker. Stick your foot down. You can make pretty decent progress with it as long as you're not in a hurry. But what Buick has done here is they've made this car feel bigger and more luxurious than it really is. I'm not talking about the quality of the materials inside, although they're pretty decent. I'm talking about the way it feels to drive. The suspension feels great. The steering feels really good. The general drive, you definitely feel like you're driving like a $40,000 car. I'm impressed with what Buick has done. And we're on a straight right here. If you hit a bend, it doesn't really roll. The steering is pretty accurate and direct. It just goes round on that wave of torque I talked about. It doesn't really have enough power to really cause any problems for the front wheels. And these Contis are pretty good, so it grips pretty well. And incredibly, I'm finding that a lot of people on the freeway are getting out of my way because I don't think they know what it is. It looks really cool from the front, and they get out of my way. Probably helped by this ice gold metallic paint that it's got, but it definitely has presence. On the freeway, I've had a few people staring at me and wondering what it is. So when you do give it the beans, the noise, it's there, but it doesn't feel strained. It feels like, it's going. One question might be, how reliable is this little turbo engine, considering it's, quite small? I don't know that yet. I know Buick's been running the 1.2 and the 1.3 in the Encore, the discontinued Encore, and the Encore GX, and also the Trax. So we'll have to wait and see if they're reliable or not. Now, having said all that, how good would this be with a 2-liter engine and 200 horsepower? Because it handles really well. It's just desperately in need of more power. But I also can't get over the fact that it looks so good from the outside. I think a lot of people are thinking that this is a lot faster than it is when they see me driving it. Unfortunately, when they let you go by, you're like, oh, come on, Buick. Come on, little Envista. The downside of this tiny engine, it's fine with me in it. I don't weigh much at all. But once you get 4 adults in this car, I feel like what performance it had is going to be severely blunted, and that could be a problem. Okay, little Envista, let's take this right turn and see how we do here. So it rained recently, so this might have flattened it out a little bit, made it smooth, at least a lot less dusty than it normally is along here. And again, we are not going to try anything that we would normally do with an all-wheel drive vehicle, because it isn't. So, a few little bumps here and there, but so far, magic carpet ride. It is ironing out some of this washboard stuff. There's a little bit of washboard there. Probably heard it, but not a problem. A little bit more washboard there. Noisy, but smooth. Oh, traction control kicking in there. A couple of potholes. I see the traction control flashing there. Poor little front wheels trying to grip. It's very smooth. Even though that's kind of noisy, that is very smooth for me. This is a bit of a rough bit here. So we made it to the top of the mountain with front wheel drive and did a pretty good job. It's a bit dirty, but I really like the Envista. It's poised, it's refined, it's less than $30,000 and it looks absolutely incredible. They've done a great job with this car. The biggest letdown is what's under the hood, the 1.2 liter with 137 horsepower. Come on GM, give it at least the 1.3 with 158, 180 foot-pounds of torque, and I think you'll have a winner. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Like, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time with another video.